Episode 43. Split. The ship did not announce the change. It never did. There was no alarm to warn them, no voice to explain what was about to happen. The hum beneath the floor simply altered its rhythm, deepening in a way that made bones ache before minds understood. Everlyn felt it immediately. Not danger. Decision. The processing hold responded first. Containment seams brightened, then shifted, lines of light sliding along the floor and walls, redrawing boundaries that hadn't existed seconds before. The space they stood in didn't shrink. It fractured. Invisible fields swept through the chamber, cutting the room into sections with surgical precision. Not evenly, not fairly, purposefully. People cried out as the seams passed through them, separating hands that had been holding on to each other, splitting families by inches they couldn't cross. A man slammed into a barrier that hadn't been there a heartbeat ago, panic breaking through exhaustion. Everlyn raised her voice, not loud, not commanding. Stop moving. Some listened, some didn't. Those who didn't were corrected. A pulse dropped 3 people where they stood, alive but locked in place like statues carved mid-panic. The message was clear. Motion without permission was no longer tolerated. Kane turned slowly, eyes tracking the new boundaries. He counted sections without meaning to. 4. No. 5. Each one isolated just enough to prevent momentum. Malek tested a seam with the back of his hand. Careful. Controlled. Immovable. Lira stood very still. Her breathing had changed, not faster, not heavier. Focused, the kind of breath she took before violence. Everlyn caught her eye and shook her head once. Not yet. Across the ship, Kaelen felt the split ripple through the structure. Bulkheads sealed in staggered sequence, rerouting pathways she'd mapped earlier. Vents that had been open moments ago closed without sound. Others opened unexpectedly, forcing new airflow patterns through the ducts. The ship wasn't reacting blindly. It was dividing threats. Kaelen tightened her grip on the human beside her and waited as the hunters passed again, closer this time. She felt the vibration of their boots through the metal, the precision of their spacing. They weren't sweeping. They were triangulating. She sent the thought through the link, compressed and urgent. They're separating the hold, cutting coordination. Everlyn absorbed it, then felt something worse. The link itself stretched, not broken, strained, like a muscle pulled too far. Everlyn steadied her breathing and anchored it, refusing to let panic bleed into the thread. In the hold, the first extraction came without warning. A seam opened beneath a teenage boy who'd been standing alone near the perimeter. No scream, no struggle. He dropped straight down as the floor parted, swallowed by the ship before anyone could reach him. The floor sealed. Gone. A woman screamed his name. The field dropped her mid-word. Everlyn's jaw clenched. This wasn't punishment. It was sorting. Again. The Zarthians entered in pairs now. Not soldiers. Not hunters. Collectors. They moved between sections, scanning, comparing, confirming. One paused near Everlyn's section. The scanner lingered longer than before. Everlyn didn't move, didn't blink, didn't give it anything to hold on to. After a long moment, it moved on. Relief surged through the civilians behind her, dangerous and loud. Everlyn spoke without turning. Do not react. They froze. Good. Across the ship, Kaelen felt the link falter again. Static bleeding through awareness, the ship's interference thickening like fog. She pressed her forehead lightly against the duct wall and focused. Breath, stillness, control. The wolf blood didn't give her strength here. It gave her clarity. She adjusted her position by inches, aligning herself with the ship's vibration instead of fighting it. The static eased. She sent one clean impression through the thinning thread. Still here. Holding. Everlyn received it like a lifeline. In the hold, the split finished. 5 sections. 5 isolated pockets of fear. The pack was divided. Everlyn stood with Kane in a cluster of civilians. Malek was 2 sections away, separated by nothing but light and force. Lira stood alone. That was deliberate. The Zarthians knew what she was now. They wanted her isolated. Everlyn met Lira's gaze across the seams. No words, no signals, just trust. Lira lowered herself slowly into a crouch, muscles coiling, eyes never leaving the space beyond her section. Waiting. Malek tested the barrier again, harder this time. Nothing. He exhaled sharply and forced himself still. Strength without timing was wasted. The collectors finished their pass. They removed 2 more people. Not screaming. Not fighting. Chosen. Then they left. The seams stayed. The room remained fractured. Silence fell. Not the stunned silence from before, but something colder. Acceptance. That scared Everlyn more than panic ever had. Across the ship, Kaelen felt the hunters turn away. Not retreat. Reposition. She released the humans slowly and gestured for them to stay still. She moved alone now, slipping deeper into the vent network as the ship closed in around itself. The split had worked. The machine had regained partial control. But control wasn't victory. Everlyn straightened, spine firm, eyes scanning her section. The pack was divided. The link was strained. The ship was hunting. And yet, they were still alive. Still thinking. Still dangerous. Everlyn let her gaze settle forward. They wanted them separated. Good. Predators adapted fastest when isolated. And the machine had just made a mistake it couldn't undo.